And we're live. We're finally back again. We've got a load of drivers here tonight. My God, I've never seen 21 for the second round of Season 3 EFES. Again, massive welcome to everybody for the people taking part in this event and also for the people who are watching this event. I'm your commentator and slash host, Deadpool or Cooler, and today, as I said in the intro, we are racing around the I should be live. Why is it not? Is it glitched or something? 1 minute. Because for me it feels like it's... Yeah, I am already live. Ugh. There we go. And yeah, we're finally back commentating again. Now I can start my presentation. Hello, and welcome back to yet again another EFES around F1 division. I am your host, Cola or Deadpool. And tonight, we're racing around the infamous circuit of Melbourne, Australia. So shout out to the Australian people watching this, or whoever does decide to watch, and even for the people who are tuning in. Now, a few big names tonight, and I am actually going to bring out, because I was thinking about one person who's not out yet. He is out yet, and I was kind of thinking just seeing him being out here, but it is this man, Liagos. I've actually never seen him drive in a comp before. I've not seen him race for a few weeks, actually, or I would say a few years. So seeing him back on track, because we've got quite a good history together, seeing him back on track again, it's amazing to see, to be honest. He is representing... I need to actually bring out the... Big Man Liagos is going to cause some shit. Probably, he is the biggest, baddest boss of them all. Swedish boss. um, so yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this, and we actually get to watch him first go for a lap. So we have one guy retiring. It's the migrating house. It's not good. A few other drivers going out. I'm actually going to try to get out the Discord part of things, and I want to get out the cards and stuff. Just to have a little chat about that. Now I'm not. Yeah, F1 cards. There we go. So, Mr. Liagos here is representing AERT. He's going to stroll over to the pits. I know the driver's actually leaving, so I do think we actually sadly have a lobby restart. Possibly. Everybody is restart. Why is everybody leaving? I am very, very confused. Yeah, it's a restart. I do not know why I do. Yeah, just a little bit of a mess up through the thingy. I don't understand why people aren't realizing. That is a little bit of a thingy, because everybody actually did leave, and I wondered why. A lot of people are leaving or retiring this session. So, we will be back shortly. I will pause this live stream, and we'll have a chat later. I do apologise for the wait. I think we've got everybody in now. No, we're missing 2 drivers. Lobby updated. A few drivers are joining in. 2 guys there. Uh, um, off. Dynamic race line manual. Yes, 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 yes. Post cockpit off. Track, yes. Sorted as it is. Weekend structure. Short, long strength, starting grid qualifying. Weather and day. Light cloud, dry. Weather. It's on right. Your people are readying up. Strict. Simulation setting should be on standard. I think we're good. Yep, they're good. Good. Why? Kind of sunny. We're finally getting to start. Now finally I can do it again. Hello and welcome back to yet again another EFES round. I'm your host, Cooler or Deadpool. Tonight we're joined by the F1 division around Australian Melbourne Park. And this is the second round of the season. Last season I can't really remember what actually happened. There was a good amount of overtakes. We did have a last lap win, which was very intriguing. I think that the 2 Ferraris, if it was VM something, was that completely F2? VLS maybe, were running very tight towards each other, and in the end it came to the conclusion that they won it. VLS won it. I think it was with something. Anyway, so as it follows now. For constructors wise, we can talk about that now. After the first round, VLS of course leads the championship with 35 points. Close up behind is VZN and Vision Esports with 33 points. Then we have the newcomers QDR, very close to QSR to be honest, but QDR, Quadring Esports running with 31 points. So it's very tight between everybody. Vroom, aka VRM, driving the Mercedes cars, running in 4th with 25 points. Then X7M, we all know those guys. Exion 7 Motorsports, running with 24 points behind. VRM. After that, we have VRL Esports, 13th, with 13 points, running in that P6 position. VMV Esports in 7th. FZR in 8th, FST in 9th, ART in 10th, and XR in last. All of those last 3 I mentioned are all on tied with 0 points. Anyways, we'll get this status update going around and we'll try to have an amazing race. We will actually get rid of that. I don't think anyone's in. Yes, we have a few guys actually out. Why are we only 1 minute in? Only 1 minute in. The thing is that we had to do a lobby restart. It's been a long time since John, aka the host for today, had done a lobby, and I think he forgot Park Ferme, which, too many defences, it does give an advantage for many drivers who don't have the environmental esports setups and all that stuff. So technically, we had to restart. Anyway, we're following here in the Cadillac for VMV Leo, who will be our first driver to start a lap. And already 1 guy has left. And we are full lobby tonight, which is very cool. Very nice to see. Now, of course, Melbourne is known as a street circuit, so we'll see how these drivers navigate this circuit. Now, starting off, BMW Leo decides to go on the power quite early. It's very debatable with this, especially with long straight. And he attacks turn 1 onto the curb. Might have been an invalidation, but I didn't think so. He doesn't go all the way out, like how we know most F1 drivers actually do now. Good braking into turn 3. Going into turn 4. And 5, you want to be careful to invalidate right now. Turn 6, quite easy. This is where the hard trick is. You don't want to burn too much battery. Going into turn 7. Just a lift. And it's a little bit of a slide for Leo. But still quite a decent lap. We do have a yellow flag. I think that's just driving going very slow. And onto a straight. This is where you want to have the most amount of battery. Actually, because there comes the second straight. So most drivers don't want to use too much of their ERS. But you can also gain in the chicane here. Of course, Leo reset the benchmark of a 44.5 in the second sector. And now going on to the final lap. Or final straight, this is where you want to deploy as much as possible, because here comes the technical bit of the Australian circuit. And a little bit of a twitch for him, and it's still no invalidation. He went all over the ptarmigan, so that's still fine. And then again, all over the ptarmigan, and this comes just before the pit entry. And now in the final corner, you want to aim for being 4th mid-apex, in my acknowledgement. And on with the power, and he will be setting a lap time of a 117.5, so that's very close. Up next is his teammate, so we'll try to move over to him quickly. His teammate's gone a little bit slower, hasn't really got the speed there, but he will still slot in. No, he doesn't, because he has invalidated his lap. Up next, someone beats his time, it's VL's Pascal Girl. And VRL Mikey takes P3 now, because Lurka, 61, and the 2 Ferrari of VLS are 1-2 at the moment, with provisional pole for Victor, who was racing last season, or last race. So it's nice seeing him back into the Ferrari Corsa car. And going up next, LGS Cristobal goes in 8th, as we can see here. Jonas as well lining up shortly behind in 11th. Now following a few other drivers, we can actually follow Trixty, who's on a quite good lap. It looks, hey, hello in RE44, welcome, welcome. And Trixty sets the fastest time, 16.7. We do not even copy with that reference, please. Now on is an Audi I was looking at, and Reto will be setting a lap time quick enough for 10th. Anyway, the Aston moves up, and the Aston puts himself, GSPR puts himself into 5th, which is very good for his performance. Haven't seen him around, so it's very nice to see him in the car. A lot of the drivers actually have gone through. The drivers who are still on the lap is Marcos. We actually saw Marcos last season. Very unlucky race for him, though. But still back in the car for round 2. Now, talking about driver standings, it will be really... No, it's actually never mind. I was actually wrong about that, but Marcos is actually our race leader. I actually completely forgot that he... Didn't he win on the final lap? One driver won on the B1 qualifying. He's got a good amount of battery in the tank to continue now for the straight, but he goes very wide at the penultimate corner of the lap, and he deploys that battery, but that battery takes a long time, and I think he's setting his eyes into 16th. Not the best performance from Marco, but hopefully he'll run his race well. Anyway, behind Marcos, we have Yanni Corsa, who is racing here tonight in the Williams. I think after the post penalties, a lot of the drivers did move up and move down. So it's always nice to see where everybody are after the first round. After that, we have Salva in the VLS Salva Omedo, but he is not joined tonight. His replacement is Pasca, who's doing a phenomenal job at 16.8. Of course, you can't say where the standings are after, of course, after a few rounds, because with the amount of esports drivers joining comps, it's always like a load of other drivers compared to like the first round. It's going to be like 50 or 100 different drivers. Considering now we're also 20 teams on the grid, now every team will have their shot to get some points for tonight. But anyway, Salvo Omedo runs in third with next, I don't know why I got an invite. We'll actually skip that for now. I just need to have a look at what's going on. Supposedly, are we doing another restart? It does look like it. Pascal is actually going for a lap now. None other esports drivers have left. I think everybody's more followed with qualifying to race. And I'd like to put everything to attention. We are going to do another lobby restart. Leave the lobby and ask for an invite. Sure. It's really strange, all of this. How do we... People are realizing there's time to leave. And commentator will leave. Again, to everybody's acknowledgement, do leave again. Something with the lobby again. I think it's probably EA problems. But I don't want to throw EA Sports under the bus. I have done multiple times though. So that's annoying. Stream will be shortly back again, but I do advise everybody to leave who are in stream watching. And I'll catch you a little bit later. And yeah, everybody leave lobby. Stream will be paused for the time being, but yeah, have a good one. I've been muted. I've been muted. I was just yapping about. Thank you for actually mentioning that. Otherwise, I'd be yapping about still. Oh God. Yeah, L Deadpool. Yeah, just send a load of L Deadpools in the chat because that's a huge mess up for me. I was literally just yapping. Anyway, what I was saying was Jeremy was in P1 and Trixie in P2, and then Victoria Grancy in P3. V Deadpool, thank you. Anyway, what I was just mentioning in stream was, meanwhile we're watching Pascal's lap before we start getting into the second phase of TTN Goated, I agree. Before we get into the actual, what's it called? The actual second stint talk about, having a team so close is quite important in my opinion. I mean, if you look at the VLS drivers, they're very close, like one driver splits apart of them. But everybody else is so mixed up. For a fact, if you don't consider the two Hasses for VRL, but still, it's always good to know your teammate is close, especially when you're fighting for a win. Now, the other thing I would like to mention is Pascal is a low battery, and that will not help his lap time anything. 10% though, he could deploy a little bit more, but then again, I think he's waiting for the second straight. Anyway, he's going very quick though through the S's. And he'll deploy the last amount of battery just to get that little bit more boost, but maybe not the best going into 8th gear and a huge lift off. And he doesn't hit the sausage curb, which we've seen one driver actually do. And now entering the little technical bit, penultimate corner of the lap, and thanks for VLS ERS map. Damn, bro, stealing from VLS. The drivers are leading. Anyway, well, Pascal put his lap time. He's up though, so he moves up to P3. Good stuff, having his team quite close behind. Anyway, another driver I'd like to have a look at is Liagos. Let's see what time Liagos can set. And he actually doesn't improve a lot. But 16, what did he set? We'll see here. A 17.7 is still a good lap. Move over to Victor, who is looking extremely quick, a little bit up on this time. Where can he place his car? It will probably be 3rd, if I'm not 100% wrong. No, he doesn't. He improves a little bit, just stays in 5th. And Trixie is starting their lap now. Jeremy also starting a lap. So a lot of the drivers are actually starting a lap for the 7-minute countdown. And a few drivers actually are still Paco is improving heavily, so we keep an eye on Paco before he finishes his lap. Anyway, besides that, we have VRL Mick going in for a into the pits. Anyone else? McLaren drivers. Isco. What time can Isco set? A little bit of an improvement, a 10th improvement, but he doesn't move any positions up. Now moving over to anyone else. Jonas is in the pits. That's what I messed up. But we'll move over to Packer, who has a load of pressure because the commentator's on him now, glazing him. What time can actually Packer set? It's looking quite good. He's got still another 7 seconds if he would like to get a reasonable time. And it's looking like it's going to be into the 17th. It's actually going to be in the 69th. Very good for Paco. In the 10th, into the points. So that's something very nice and guaranteed for him. We move over to the Corsas with the Ferrari prancing horse. Instead, we're going to go over to Isco, who is still on the straights. I don't think there's any time there for Pisco. Nope, it's 3 seconds down, so there will be nothing. A little bit of a shame for Cristobal, who has to wait for his teammate going into the pits. Or is someone going into the pits? No, it's the Mercedes driver, sorry. That's rather Max or Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy. It is Jeremy. Now, I think that Isco was not on the lap, so there will not be really any changes for that. Here going into the pits. Well, that Aston is in. GSPR is also going into the pits. And we will soon be awaiting the final session of qualifying. The final laps. Yeah, Iman is actually going on a lap. I've actually seen him before. I think he raced last race. It's hard to remember who actually races, so I do apologise. And Iman will now place his car nowhere because he is 8 seconds down on his previous best. Probably a spin or something occurred during that. Another Red Bull here is Danish. Is up on his time, but it's going to be a huge improvement. It is not. He still stays in 18th. Another thing is that an Audi driver? It is Iman, who is on a slow lap, invalidated. A little bit unlucky to invalidate there. FSR, P18, and P22. Yeah, they're cooking. They're cooking. Just wait. Trust the process. Trust the process. Oh god, don't tell me again. We have one driver left. I'm getting really scared now. No messages in the F1 announcements channel, but its time is actually rattling on now. It's almost 10 PM for my time, so it is getting on. And I think Danish will complete their laps. And he spins! Spins at a penultimate corner of the lap. And he'll go into the pits again. Frustration, but I don't think that was too big of an improvement. We have actually a few drivers actually going out again. So we'll actually move over to the guy there. Iman is going in again for something with his driving. And we'll actually go over to the Jonas, who's starting their lap now for FSR. 5 tenths up on their lap, so pace is not there maybe for the FSR drivers. And following the list, one of the V carbs for X7M. Where's TTN again? TTN did not qualify for the F1, but we're in the F2, which is on Tuesdays at the same time. 9 PM. Or 8 PM UK time, to be a little bit that cautious and a little bit that more straight. We won on Tuesday. Yeah, I think, yeah, we did, didn't we? We actually did. We're leading constructors as well, which is very lovely, I think. We're doing better than you, well, to be honest. Silly FSR. Is what it is. Gotta go now. Have a good one, man. Sure, buddy. Marcos is the driver who leading the driver standings, so he will hope for a good lap now to try to put himself even higher up into the qualifying standings. Qualifying is very important. Let's see here. Is any driver on the lap? Eddie is on the lap, or is off. He's starting his lap now, actually, so he did have something, but his battery is almost up to 100%, so he will start any minute now. Rignetto is actually on an improvement lap. Marco's teammate running the blah 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 something. Deadpool will actually get up the time or the car map to see Audi, which is VZN. Sorry for that confusion. 2 tenths up. So Rignetto is finding a little bit of time. We'll move over and have a look at them later. Paco is just started off their lap. Kart, on the other hand, is 6 seconds up, but he's blocking for one team. I don't know what that's going on. Max Belmont just started off a lap again. Same goes for Hockney. Sorry if any pronunciations of any names incorrectly. I do apologise for that. We do have a yellow flag between a few drivers. It's not good for the Ferrari driver of Pasco, who is 1/10, 2 tenths down in the lap time. Liagos has retired from this qualifying session, probably wanting to start from the back. Anyway, Lurk starting on the lap, and then the V-Cub as well, following in hot. It's not that V-Cub, it's the other one. A man starting a lap again, so a lot of the drivers are actually starting a lap. But let's keep an eye on the top of drivers just to see what actually happened there. Sorry for that, for anyone wondering about the other drivers, but we need to keep an eye on the top guys. Maybe we get a surprise. Anyway, time is ticking on. Everybody wants to get out on a lap. Max Bellman probably will be the final run of his session. But he will have an amazing tow from the Red Bull, probably with Danish just starting out their lap. So what time can he set? Max Bellin moves to the top, and he takes pre-pole position for this Australian qualifying. His team is also on the lap just now, so he will probably find a little bit more time. Hockney is not finding in time. Leo is not finding too much time to be noted. Paco just started another lap. Lurker is down on his lap time. Same goes for Eddie, by the looks of it. Ragnato is also down on the lap time. He will have to move over. He will not have time to do another lap for this qualifying session. Vero Mike, we'll have a look at Vero Mike, who is the following driver to probably finish off a qualifying lap. And he's on the straight now, and he's deploying the little bit of battery here left. That's qualifying ended with. Overtime is now set, and he moves up to P10. Amazing stuff from VL Mike. Anyway, moving over, Lurk is in 14th. Iman moves up a few positions, up to 14th. Now following one of the Red Bulls, I think Jonas is a little bit timed down, but we're not too much to actually keep an eye on. We want to keep an eye on Trixton. Can Trixton find a little bit more time to go pole? Yes, he does! XR Trixie finds a nest. Jeremy steals pole away from him, almost a 10th of a lap. Now move over to Victor. Can Victor find anything in that lap time? Yes, he does. He moves up to 4th. Up next goes the team, and there's a Red Bull spun. That's not good for battery power, everybody. Pascal over the line, P2, just behind Jeremy. Now following a few other drivers. I think we're going to miss a load of drivers, but we'll move over to VMV Leo. Any other drivers improving? If I can see VMV Leo, what time can he set? It will be a finish. No point, no moving up for him. Max is in the pits. The other driver, GSPR, not finding any time. Paco is not running anything. Mika is also on the Lyre lap. Lurk just having a best time, not probably on the lap, so we'll stay with him a little bit more. And that's qualifying done and dusted with. And it is Jeremy on pole for round 2 of the EFES Season 3 Australian GP. There's your standings, everybody. Jeremy rolls up in P1 with Palsk for VLS in P2. Trixie in P3, Max Bellman in P4, Victoria in P5, Kart in P6, GSPR in 7th, Johnny in 8th, Huckney in 9th, Mick in blah blah blah. Leo in 12th, Marcos in 12th, Poco in 13th, Iman in 14th, Lurk in 15th, 16th goes to Eddie, Regnot in 17th, Danish in 18th, 19th goes to Isco, Cristobal in 20th, almost doing all of them, but it goes. You have to go quick, I think, and I did stutter a little bit. Does Deadpool have time for a little water break? He does. Excuse me for that, but it needs to be done. Anyway, we'll have the drivers out. Is this wrong? Might be wrong. No, it's not. Anyway, drivers will have now a chance to configure with their setup / adjust strategy and think about planning and movements during this race. Of course, everybody wants to keep an eye on to turn 1. We all know in any leagues or racing, going into turn 1 there's normally a little bit of chaos just because of the narrow turn 1 into turn 2 structure of the circuit. So keep an eye on for any sort of spinners. Best chance have the top runners, I think, if they don't get absolutely killed or if anything else happens. So we will be awaiting those 5 red lights any minute now. I think everybody gets time to change the setups, hopefully. And can actually see a guy in front of me just over the Mercedes garage. Why is he standing? Why have EA programmed him to stand with his back point and cheer on? It's yeah. Poor guy. We'll actually feel sorry for that guy. Just standing there and doing absolutely nothing, just cheering against the wall. A black voided wall. And we will be awaiting again for these red lights. We are awaiting players, so hopefully the racing does start in a minute. And a good opportunity for... There we go. And now we await the 5 red lights. 3, 4, and 5th. And boogity, boogity, boogie. We're going racing in Australia again for the second round of this awesome circuit. Good launch out for Trixie. He takes pole with Victor moving up another position into P2. Max Bellman moving down a few with Jesper moving up to 14th. A huge amount of crashes going on behind. We'll actually have a look at what's going on. A few cars are ghosted, so I think everything is good. But Hockney and also, and there's a yellow flag already. Hockney and Panko, bad start from them, having a lot going wrong for them, and I think that is pure unluckiness. 10-second time penalty for Isco. Isco receiving a 10-second time penalty for hitting Liagos, which is very strange because they're literally a car between each other. If this is yellow full course caution, I think it's just a virtual safety car. So we should be up racing in any minute now. More or less every driver have on the field as well. But Jeremy is the guy in actually P1. We actually had Trisky in the P1 position before, but it's ultimately changed. A few drivers are actually weaving those tyres trying to warm them up, but there is still a VSC. So we hope the racing gets back going in a minute. Loads of drivers actually are. VMV car is all over the back of Victor, trying to get the best opportunity to get past. Still VSC, 2 yellow flags. And we are going racing again. And Kart gets jumped in start, but Jeremy stays in P1 with Victor's back, and Max Belmont is back into 7th. Danish in 13th moves up 1 position, but he has got a load of traffic behind him. We'll wait until the few traffic cars actually move over, but a lot of the drivers are actually in this big contact between Cristobal and Danish, but Danish still holds on to that position. Max Belmont is moving up a position, trying to catch up to where he actually was from the beginning. I think he was starting P4 this race. A few drivers actually have boxed, and there's HRT Liagos and Isco already in the pit. HRT Liagos racing for ARET Racing, trying to score them a few points with his teammate Jesper in 6th. Yellow flag or purple sector goes for Pasco Girl in a good attempt to try to take the lead of this Grand Prix. This is all over Mercedes vs Ferrari dominance again. Victor moves defending against Kart. Kart's get offensively aggressive against Victor, trying to get past, really send it into the inside. We'll actually keep an eye on these guys up ahead here, because I think a little bit wider opens the door for GSPR, but I don't think he will tag on it. No, he doesn't. He could have gone a little bit wider line to get more straight line speed. Anyway, now it will be the time to attack, but I think Kart will settle himself into 5th and just wait to get closer into Victor. Victor running a very low battery, so Victor will be struggling onto the straight. ART going into the inside, GSPR going in, and there's still a battling between him and Kart, but into the main straight. A few drivers actually have a load of DRS power, but PSK Pascal is trying to get past. He has a good amount of battery to use, but Jeremy will have to be careful with how much he uses. And a gap has started to form. We'll actually go over to the between everybody to see where it is, but all over the back of Victor is VMV car. He wants to get past very desperately. It's going to GSPR as well, all over the back, and same goes for Malland. Everybody's race here tonight still, but a few drivers who actually got away a little bit is the top 3. So the podium contention drive, these are probably the podium to win contention drivers. If nothing happens in the race, of course it's very early still. We have a 35% race because of the delay of the lobby. So these drivers will have to... what was pole? Pole was, a matter of fact, quite a good time. I don't see, I think it was a 16-2 something. We'll have to look in the results. We'll scroll back. Anyway, on to the attack on the Audi driver is Lurk. Lurk has to, no, it's not. Audi driver is being attacked by Eman. But nothing in the back is going ahead. Yes, it is, because Danish is getting all elbows out, but I think Eddie knows his way. And it's a huge crash! Eddie into the wall, and it's low grip, and that's another safety car. Eddie's wing broken, and Danish wing as well, broken clean off. And that is why we got the yellow flag, and that's why you get be careful racing around this infamous street circuit. One little mistake and I knew was going to happen. Side by side and into the wall, into turn 7. But a full course caution will let everybody now decide to box. And even for the guys in the back, considering Crystal, Leo, who's dropped off somehow, HRT Lagos, and Isco to regain the track usage. They have already boxed once. I think we can actually go and look on the tyres. Yeah, there we go. Crystal, a lot of the drivers actually going in already now to change their tyres. So they will probably have to box again, or they will take those hards all the way to the end. And that's a huge bug for our race leader, Jeremy. What was going on there? Yeah, Jeremy's still onto it. It says in P1, but what is going on? We have a new race leader, which is Piscal, and Jeremy rounds up behind him. Now everybody's boxed, so the guys who actually box one lap or a few laps earlier will have an advantage. Liagos has moved up to 15th. Leo has moved up a few positions. So a lot of the drivers actually are following the back. But what's happened to the Audi? Nothing yet, just boxing the tyres. A few drivers are actually deciding to go on the mediums. One driver who hasn't boxed yet is Isco. Yeah, the guys who boxed a lap early. Now, they should have maybe stayed out, but then again, it is at the time what it is. A few drivers actually losing positions. Victor losing a few positions. A few drivers, yeah, it's just a pit thingy. So, a lot of the drivers are actually now losing their positions. Anyway, so that's your standings now. This probably is now the penultimate pit stop standings, if anyone doesn't box. Now, of course, these three drivers just got a good gap towards, if it was Victor Garcia. So, now everybody will have the chance to just breathe in, let the safety car pick up the people, and we'll be going again. A few drivers actually decided to go on the mediums, Lark and also Car, which is very important to know. We'll be watching for their pace now in the beginning, and everybody else will have to warm up their tyres extra much to get that little bit finer grip. But the two drivers will wear the tyres out probably quicker than the other ones. I'm declaring myself the driver of the safety car. Even though I'm taking this so unseriously, I am the driver of the safety car. I wish I was. That'd be cool though. Imagine just being the guy who like leads every safety car thingy. P0. So, by the looks of it, Isco actually boxed to get rid of his 10 seconds straight away as soon as he went into the pits. But then again, why have these guys now dropped off? They were high up, literally 15th, and now they're all the way in the back. Were they weren't lap, were they? I don't know. I'm not even going to bother thinking about the backfield. I'm keeping an eye on what actually happens. Double stack. You're right about that, Soxy. And welcome here as well. Welcome, Soxy, to the chat. Nice to having you here. And we've got a F1 car with no tyres, and we've got a safety car in this lap. So careful now so you don't hit each other, because that's a thing happening. Yeah, 16.3 was pole. That was amazing. That is crazy fast, in my opinion. Look at that. We have the F1 car with no tyres. Everybody look at that. Mercedes have brought a super upgrade. It's a levitational car. Put onto one car. I think Max doesn't mind having a levitational car. Guy running the helmet and helmet. Jeremy. Floating car. Clip this, John, if you're watching the stream, because this is hilarious. Flying car. Yeah, I can see that Jeremy has no tyres. Jeremy, it has a hoverboard as a car. Anyway, and Pascal got away really well, 6/10 up the line. And everybody else, and that's a 10-second time penalty for a load of drivers for serving collisions. That is not good. Normal grip is on, and we're racing, but for some reason I have the safety car emblem still going, so I'm a little bit privileged. And keep an eye on the back. Car, bad stuff for him. He receives a 10-second time penalty for collisions with another driver, so that is nothing he wants to see. And Leo, his teammate as well, receiving a 3-second time penalty. 30-second time penalty. Don't bother saying anything. Looking at position gains this time, you can see there, this is how it looks like, and as well seeing on the attack of Trixie is VMV car, but that Alpine is getting away very neatly. And a few drivers are actually backing off, dropping positions. And now we'll go over to the back just to see what is going on here. A few drivers scrambling for positions, and that is the Haas and Leo trying to make moves, and one car ghosting. No crashes yet though. We'll actually move over to the back of the pack with Yanni having a look at all the fine fighting in front of him. Liagos, a little bit of a twitch for him. Good battery though for Liagos, so he will deploy as much as he can. I want to see this man do an overtake. Come on, Liagos, I believe in you, buddy. And he sends it into turn 1. And boost, and the straight mode is activated, but losing a little bit of time to the guys up ahead. And into the inside goes car! Into the inside goes Leo Ninsko. A stupid move with a stupid result. He's now down another 2 positions, and he'll have to get past Isco again and Liagos. Moving up to the top of the field, this is actually where we're missing all the fine contact. The flying car is still going at it. For some reason it hasn't been banned, and that's sending on inside Trixie. Very close there for this driver, but behind him he's got an angry car doing a smart off throttle instantly. Battery's now extremely high, and there's a deficit between almost 20% between these two drivers. So to his advantage, he will have a lot more battery. Look at that, that battery's going up even more than 40% deficit between Trixie and also Kart. Is Kart going to go into the inside? No, he's going to lift off. He's going to get the right amount of battery. And he's playing this very smart, the Cadillac driver for VMV. Very smart. He could have gone towards the inside there, but I don't think he wants to risk it. I don't think he wants to mess up his tyres, let alone mess up a win for VMV. That would be an amazing result for them. But he is very high on tails with the XR driver of Trixie. Now battery is deployed. Well, those drivers are deploying their battery. And the man with actually a good amount of battery is Lurk. And Lurk is going to go around the outside before the corner. And he's going to get that placement done. And he's left JSPR behind. And in front, Kart is finally probably going to make a move. But the guy in front of him, into the inside. No, he does not have the confidence to make a move on the XR driver. Now, a few drivers actually have split up the pack a little bit. A little bit of a wobble from Danish, moving up a few positions as well. He's in 12th now with his team behind Jonas. Now Eddie Epic is almost pushed onto the grass. That was very close, and that's another driver spinning. Cristobal spinning just before this final corner. Did everybody pit? Yes, there was a safety car. So everybody has pit. A few drivers actually have pit a few laps before during the VSC. But we're still going. Oh, they're so close between him and Jeremy. Jeremy and Packle, I think that, that have a board car. And there's another 10-second time penalty for Leo. Leo, what is going on with Leo tonight? Struggling pace, or it's just him hitting someone. But yeah, what do we say about Jeremy though? I think he's brought an illegal car for this. And he's going to go now for the lead of the race, and he's going to go around the outside, just what we saw before. And he's now our new race leader. VRM leads the halfway point through this race. But Pascal is all over the back, but that's huge. The door is shut on him instantly. And down to the inside of the teammate goes Lurk. And how opens the door for Kart to make a move. Kart moves up another position, but still, that 10-second time penalty is nothing you want down. Now, the best thing would happen is if he got rid of it by a safety car, but still, not the chance that could happen. A few other drivers behind are gathering. It's just we have a move up ahead, I think, and it's almost a late lunge for Danish, but I don't think he would have done that. That would have been an awful move to do. But behind him now is Mika, looking towards the outside. HRT Liago's retiring, and he's almost pushed into the wall. That's so close for him, but that profits him, because now he moves past. Moving past Danish for 12th position. But I think Danish is not done yet. Or is Danish? Danish, it's Danish. And I said Danish. Anyway, 0% battery. Opens the door maybe for Hockin to make a move. But then again, and it's into the inside goes Danish, and it's spun around! Danish into the wall! Just before the S's. During the S's. And he will get... Yeah, he gathers that car going. The car's still going. But that is an awful thing to happen to him during the S part. And that car is also heavily damaged. And he's locking up that rear. So I think, yeah, almost into the wall as well. You can see the struggling from Danish. Struggling. QDR Yanni is going probably to overtake him, but he's actually goes, and that's a 3-second time penalty. First track limit multiple warnings penalty for Marcos, which is not good, and that's Max. Max receiving a 3-second time penalty as well for excessive warnings. So that is nothing you want to see. But still, Jeremy leads this race with almost a second to go. He's been deploying that battery an awful amount. But behind him, and we have a McLaren, that's Isco into the gravel. Struggling in those hards in his face. The hoverboard is leading the race. Probably will have to be inspected. And that's another safety car, and I think that was caused by Isco retiring. Isco retiring on track, causing now a safety car. So that is nothing good. And we'll be seeing that safety car, but gives everybody probably a chance to box for new tyres. Jeremy staying out, but Trixie is actually going in. Into the pits goes Trixie. Anyone else going in? We have to have a look here. Yeah, the teammate as well. Lurk is also going in. Safety car is a joke. Yeah, it was caused. It was caused. I saw it. And I know who did it. Jonas into the pits. Pekka into the pits. Max Bellman into the pits. Cristobal, and that's an overtake during the pits. Leo overtakes during the pit lane. There's Cristobal into the pits. 10-second time penalty for Cristobal as well. That's nothing good. Well, he's serving that. So, PU. And that's Pascal. Pascal receiving a 10-second time penalty. The Ferrari driver VLS receiving a 10-second time penalty. That's nothing you want now. It's not long on the race and he gets a penalty. If we can get penalties up, that would be really good. Yeah, there we go, look! And that's VMV car as well, not serving that penalty as well. I think he might try to get that off. Of course, drivers are allowed after the race too. If they find a penalty unfair, they can get rid of it. But that's still... Pascal still in the mix for this win, and ART GSPR has moved up into second place. So this is his chance probably to shine, but we await and see. And that's another lap, another race behind this, another few laps behind the safety car. BMW Leo going into the pits. I think Danish is also going to decide to go into the pits to serve that 10-second. No, he's not. He's actually staying out. He believes that that is unfair. But then again, Leo will now probably start in the back of the pack. But he is going to go on those fresh medium tyres for those last, probably only 5 laps left. Very strange not going on to another set of mediums, or softs. But the mediums are probably the only tyre he does have. But very shocked about Pascal receiving that 10-second time penalty. But probably if Jeremy now does this right, he probably can get away with this win. We'll just have to see what GSPR has to offer us. Didn't qualify all too high. He did, I think he was in the top 10 though. So still, there's still probably a good result here to gain. But then again, that rocket ship is, that hoverboard rocket ship is, of course, the meta. And he will be winning probably. And this is safety car in this lap. But we're still waiting for VMV Leo. And the drivers will probably slow down as much as they are allowed to. But Cristobal and Leo will try to hurry up to try to catch the rest of the pack. Is still half the straight left. And if they're lucky enough, they will be just behind the starting grid. But now is the main thing. Everybody will warm their tyres up. Even the driver who doesn't have tyres on. So Jeremy in the rocket ship / hoverboard will try to find that good start, but we'll watch him and we'll keep an eye on behind. He's revving the crazy crap out of that car, trying to probably dump a little bit more fuel, but he is allowed to go whenever he decides to go, and he does decide to go just now, and it's a reasonably good start. We'll actually move over to the gap towards the leader. And now everybody's allowed to use their boost. And through the corners goes top 3. And everything is still as it's shown. There's a few moves being made. Very close there between Max Bellman, Paco and Danish. But behind him, a lot of the drivers actually are scrapping for positions. But still no dive bombs being sent. And onto the battery goes Max Bellman, whose teammate is now fighting for probably a good result, for a P1 result. And another hoverboard has been detected as well. Trixie has been shown the hoverboard cards and now deciding to go the same path as Jeremy. But behind him, he's got a very aggressive car. Trying to get past is none other than Eddie EPC. And the battery for him is extraordinary but superior, and into the no, he doesn't. He curves back down, just has a sniff and look into the inside, but doesn't decide to go for a move. But I'm actually gonna snap a picture of that, of Trixie. If I can get one, because that is legal, and Jeremy as well has got tyres now. He's finally decided to put those tyres back on, but a 3-second time penalty again for Leo. There's nothing what you want now, buddy. You're dropped all the way back to down the pack, even though you got rid of that 10-second time penalty. But now we are waiting to see, because the stray is here. But still, that, yeah, he's still got those yeah. And now a load of drivers actually moving for position. Here's none alert with his teammate hoverboard in top, and it's VRL Mickey receiving a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. We actually have a Johnny all the way in the back. Something's happened there. There's a yellow flag though. There's a caution in sector 3. Nothing I can see just yet with my spectator eyes. Marcus making up a move. Oh, that was close also. But we'll have a look at between the driver behind them, because this is where moves are being made. Max Bellman is into the inside of the... There's a contact! Contact, and there's going to be something huge. Yes, there is! And into the gravel goes Mick. Something happened there between all of them. Paco avoids everything, and something happened between him and Max Bellman, plus Iman. That will have to be investigated after the race, but that has not gone well for the drivers. But squeezing in, huge contact. That was so close on a big bad crash. But still, Leo, everybody's unscathed except for Mika, who was taken out of this race unfairly and being made moves, is Victor, fighting off that hoverboard of an Alpine. XR is running illegal tricks, and in front of him is Kart. A little bit of the early lift off, but that's the strategy. The battery is almost dead, and will it be an inside move? He's going towards the outside. He's choosing that as a go-to. There's going to be a switchback move, and he's almost pushed off, but that opens the door for Trixie. And Trixie goes in and takes a double overtake. What a move from him, but Kart has not let him go. And Kart will look towards the inside, but no move will be made. What a move from Trixie. Awesome stuff from XR Alpine, and nominated reward for that. That was the best overtake so far of this race. Even though he's running an illegal hoverboard. I'll actually message him after the race saying your team has been investigated for running an illegal car. And that's Iman. Iman receiving a 3-second time penalty, and into the around the outside goes Kart. And behind him is Victor, who's got a load of traffic behind him. I wonder if he's struggling a little bit in these current conditions. But we're going to keep an eye on Kart. I like his lift off. It reminds me actually of my driving style, to be honest. But someone else to be watching is Lurk. On Victor, Ferrari v Alpine, XR v VLS. And that is a done-dusted move for Lurk. But I don't think Victor has given up on that. But the superior driver is Lurk with the higher powered deficit car. Running a high amount of power battery for this. And a good amount of lift off, so he secured that position very tidily. A few other drivers are making moves. Paco's made a move on a few drivers. And into the inside goes Leo, and that's a tight move, close, almost pushing his rival off. Honeck staying in there, over the curb. That will probably be, in the investigation, he'll probably have to get that time penalty removed because he didn't have a choice, and he... oh, it's into the wall! Honeck into the wall, 2 laps of the end of the race! He's getting back going, but it's a bad start for QDR. Awful stuff happening to those two drivers. But now we can watch this. We can watch the top guys because the time is ticking. Even though the hoverboard is running very illegally. Anyway, enough about the hoverboard, but that is a retirement. Straight off the bat. No safety car caution. That will just be completely racing. And the power deficit is around 20%, even 30% compared to the AERT driver and VRM. So, it really just depends when JSPR decides to go for a move. We'll move over to the back of the field a little bit because Car has been overtaken by Eddie, but Eddie still holds on to that position. Regnetto as well, moving up a few. I think he moved up a few positions. But to keep an eye on between these two drivers is 100% compared to 55. Does Jeremy have what it takes in his little spaceship to get past? But we'll keep an eye between these two drivers. And I think Jeremy might realise that his opponent fighting for this lead of the race is the final lap again, of course. And down towards the outside, but Jeremy's going to go VMV Leo, another 3-second time. We won't mention anything about him anymore. And JSPR, ART driver, will be wanting that victory for starting so badly and probably fighting for this win. It's going to be extraordinary. Power on, power to the metal, throttle down to the pedal. And now we see not a lot of battery for Jeremy here. Is it going to be a move for the lead? A&T Aston going for it, but doesn't have enough room. He will have to wait for the other straight though. Better cornering, go through it. This is now final straight. This is the perfect opportunity for JSPR. JSPR takes the lead of the Australian GP. Pack Skull moving up to P3, fighting Trixie. for that move. But this might be done. JSPR might have done what he has to do. A bad start from the ART driver. But it might be at the final stages of this race. It comes down to the final lap. And you see the checkered fan. And ART wins the second round of the EFES Season 3 race. Australia. What a good race from JSPR. He absolutely clutched that. Running behind him, Marcos as well. A load of drivers crossing the line as we missed them. But QDR, a race to forget. And they will have to come back stronger than ever next week. Race winner. JSPR doing an absolute god work of a race. You can't really expect that, could you? And he did it. ART for driving for... No, what I'm saying, JSPR driving for ART takes the race win here at Australia. That is nothing you could expect. We'll move over to the rewards. And this is your rewards, everybody. Winner, of course, goes to JSPR. Fastest lap is for Mick. Driver of the day, of course, being nominated to Cristobal. And, of course, most of the cakes goes to Lurk. And these are your final standings, everybody, after Australia. JSPR takes P1 with an absolute clutch of a race. Look at that, from 7th back. We were close, though. And behind him, Jeremy, not enough battery in the end, loses that P1. Trixky takes P3 with Lurk in P4. Victor in P5. Ragnetto in P6. Eddie takes 7th. Max Belmond in 8th. Danish in 9th. Marcos in 10th. Crestable in 11th. Pascal in 12th. VMB Leo, unlucky there with a load of penalties, slots down in 13th. Cart as well, his teammate, in 14th. Eman in 15th. Jonas in 16th. Paco in 17th. Yanni in 18th. Mickey in 19th, unlucky there as well. Honneke in 12th. Isco in 21st. And HRT Ligos rounds up with the DNF as well as Isco. Going to do that. I can't get rid of it. Damn. Well, then I'll have to end stream here then, because I cannot get out. That is my... Why am I comparing? There we go, finally. I want to do my ritual as what I normally do after the race. Just messaging, congratulating the driver. And we'll move over to the winning car, which is the Aston for today. Showroom. That's crazy how Aston wins in the EFES but can't. And wins in the Lego race today as well. Keep in mind Silverstone Grand Prix was today with the Lego race as well. Huge thanks to the EFES staff for letting me do this commentary, and do apologise for the delay. There was, in the end, turned out to be a great race for ARET, and a lot of thinking about, for example, QDR. I was your host, Cola, and have an amazing week. Next race, of course, is on Tuesday, F2 Division, and it's at the same time, 8 PM UK, and Central European time goes at 9 PM. I was your host, Stream, this Tuesday coming up. Have an amazing night, lads. Goodbye.